Have you ever told a secret to the wrong person and had them listen better than anyone ever has? Leave a comment if you've ever opened up to the wrong person. Maybe it wasn't the wrong person after all. I don't remember hitting record. I barely remember pouring the second glass of wine, and the third never stood a chance. But at some point, between the dishwasher cycle ending and the thunderstorm beginning, I opened my voice notes app like it was a therapist's office and started talking. About how I haven't cried in 6 months. About how I think I might be allergic to intimacy. About how I miss being touched, even accidentally, even just brushing someone's arm on the subway. About how I Googled symptoms of chronic loneliness and laughed so hard I choked. About how I think maybe I don't believe in love, but I still want it to believe in me. Then I hit send. Not to my therapist, not to my private archive of embarrassing midnight brain spasms. No, that would have been too reasonable. Instead, I somehow forwarded the voice note, 3 minutes and 42 seconds of wine-fueled emotional striptease, to a contact named Ren, which I mistook for Dr. Ren Silverstein, my therapist of 5 years. And now, 12 hours later, I'm staring at my phone like it's a live grenade. Because I got a reply, voice message received. Hey, not sure this was meant for me, but I listened. Hope that's okay. Actually, screw it. Thank you. That was beautiful and raw and awful and real. You sound like someone worth knowing. If you want to talk, I'm here. If you don't, I'll delete this and pretend I never existed. I sit on the edge of my bathtub in my sad beige robe, staring at my reflection in the mirror, which looks like a woman who has not slept and accidentally trauma-dumped on a stranger. My first instinct is to crawl into the crawl space and die. My second is to message back. Wrong, Ren. This was supposed to go to my therapist. Please ignore, or send me a bill for mental damage. Her reply is almost immediate. No damage, just resonance. I've been where you are, maybe still am. But you have a great voice, by the way. Radio or just heartbreak? I should stop. I should stop right now. Text from Mara. I work in radio. Audio producer, host sometimes. NPR adjacent existential crisis peddler. Text from Ren. That makes sense. You sound like the kind of person who makes silence feel like a deliberate choice. No one's ever said that to me before. Most people don't notice the silence. They just get uncomfortable in it. But this stranger, this mystery Ren, she doesn't flinch from the heaviness. Text from Mara. You're not who I thought you were, but you're surprisingly not terrible. Text from Ren. Be still my heart. That night we talk again, this time intentionally. I send a short voice note, just 20 seconds, just enough to test the waters. Hey, this is Mara. Still mortified, but thank you, I guess, for not making me feel like a complete lunatic. Ren sends one back. You're welcome, but I can't promise you're not a lunatic. That voice note had spiral with wine pairing energy. I laugh so hard I snort. The next one is longer. We talk about insomnia, about the strange comfort of thunder, about how the world feels too loud during the day and too quiet at night. Her voice is low and a little raspy, like she's been yelling at the moon or smoking cheap cigarettes by a lake. She tells me she's a musician, that she's been living out of her van for the last 3 months, that she's taking space from the idea of permanence, which I think is hippie speak for ran away from something and now hiding inside Spotify playlists. But she's also funny, sharp. She calls herself semi-feral with a working sense of irony. I hate how quickly I like her. By day 3, I find myself checking my phone every hour. Not for work emails, not for news alerts. Just to see if Ren has sent another message. She always has. She sends voice notes while she walks her dog, while she tunes her guitar, while she sits in diners and narrates what people are ordering around her. Okay, There's a man here ordering scrambled eggs and a tuna melt. At the same time, I'm disturbed. I respond from my edit bay, eating cold pad thai while layering ambient sound under a segment about municipal corruption. People who eat scrambled eggs and tuna melts simultaneously are how horror movies begin. Stay alert. We are not flirting, I tell myself. This is emotional graffiti, two strangers scrawling poetry on opposite sides of a bathroom stall. But then she says, "You know, for someone who doesn't believe in intimacy, you're strangely good at it." And I don't have a clever response. Day 5. We've never seen each other's faces, no photos, no social media. I still don't know her last name. She doesn't know mine, but she sends me a song, something she recorded on her phone. A soft, unpolished cover of Moon River played on an acoustic guitar that's clearly missing a string. Her voice is quiet and shaky at first, then stronger, like she's remembering she can be heard. I play it 6 times. That night, I record another message. I don't plan it. I don't script it. I just talk. I tell her about the first time I heard my voice on air and thought it sounded like someone else. I tell her about my sister, who calls me emotionally pre-war. I tell her about the time I walked out of a relationship because someone tried to brush my hair behind my ear and it felt like drowning. I tell her I've never done anything like this before. She replies at 2:11 a.m. "Neither have I, but I think I like the sound of your mess." I fall asleep with her voice in my ear. Tomorrow, I might regret all of this. Tomorrow, she might disappear. But tonight, some stranger is singing to me in the dark, and it doesn't feel like a mistake. It feels like a beginning. It's been 11 days since I accidentally soul-bared into the digital void, and Ren answered back with wit, grace, and a voice that makes my spine do strange things. We've exchanged 68 voice notes. Yes, I counted. Don't look at me like that. Some are 30 seconds of snark. Others are 3-minute monologues about things we pretend we're just thinking about when we're clearly bleeding them out loud. Ren once sent an entire message from inside a laundromat in Missoula, Montana, describing the exact sad energy of a single sock stuck to the dryer door. I responded with a rant about the way some people breathe too loudly in grocery stores. This is our love language now, unsolicited vulnerability in audio format. Today, she asks for something different. Okay, Mara, mystery girl with the good voice and the tragic wine cabinet. I've told you about my worst open mic night and the time I gave myself food poisoning trying to impress a date with homemade mole. Your turn. What's your most humiliating story? Bonus points if it involves crying in public. I groan so hard my neighbor knocks on the wall. I try to record 5 times, delete each one. Finally, I give in. Junior year, college. I was in a women's literature class because I was gay and trying to seem deep, and I volunteered to read a passage aloud. I stood up, cleared my throat dramatically, and fully burped into the microphone, like Satan exiting the body level. In a room of 40 people, I cried in the bathroom for 45 minutes and then dropped the class. Happy? She replies in 5 minutes. She's laughing. Not at me, with me. It's warm and delighted and low, like she's curled into a blanket somewhere with one leg tucked under herself. That's exquisite. I'm honored to know this about you. Honestly, you're still my hero. I once farted doing a handstand on a 3rd date. Your burp is nothing. By the next day, I've stopped pretending this is casual. I replay her voice notes before bed like they're lullabies. She has this way of phrasing things that gets under my skin. Observations that sound like poetry if you tilt your head. You know that stretch of morning where the light looks like old film stock? That's my favorite part of the day. It makes even bad coffee feel romantic. Who says that? Who lives like that? She sends me photos now, not of herself, but of things. A chipped teacup on a train windowsill, a hand-scribbled sign that says, "Do not feed the peacocks," with the word "why" graffitied underneath. Her dog, Benny, wearing an aggressively small hoodie. I sent her a blurry shot of my apartment window at sunrise, my coffee mug in frame, the corner of my laptop, the caption, "Good morning, haunting voice in my phone." She hearts it. Then she sends me a song, not a cover this time, a messy, gorgeous original about almost meeting someone and wondering if you already missed them. Her voice cracks halfway through, and I can't tell if it's emotion or just the recording app glitching. I play it 6 times, maybe 7. That weekend, I go to a party. It's loud. Too many people, not enough seating. My friend Nora is introducing me to someone she swears I'll click with, which sounds like the prelude to emotional dental work. I sneak into the hallway with my drink and open a voice note from Ren I saved earlier. I drove through a thunderstorm today and thought of you. Don't read into that too much. I think you might be my thunderstorm person. I don't even know what that means, but my knees go a little soft. I type back without thinking. What if we met? Send, regret, delete. Too late. The message has been read. She doesn't respond for 4 hours, during which I invent 900 reasons why she's ghosting me and at least 3 alternate personalities to live under. Then, I was hoping you'd ask. We don't set a date. We circle the idea like it's radioactive. She jokes about flying into Portland, but then says she doesn't know if she's real enough for the real world right now. I send a shrug emoji and say nothing. Later, she sends a photo of a road sign that says, Portland, 112 miles. I stare at it for 10 straight minutes. On day 15, she sends a voice note at 1:42 a.m. She's whispering, "Do you ever wonder if we'd even like each other in person? Like, what if I talk too much or smell weird or chew ice? What if this only works because we don't know what the other's eyebrows look like?" I reply without hesitation. You could have one eyebrow in the shape of Idaho, and I'd still want to hear your thoughts on clouds. She sends back a heart. Then another voice message, her voice lower now. What do you look like? This is the part where I panic, because Ren knows everything about my insides, but nothing about my face. Not the scar on my eyebrow, or the freckle constellation across my nose, or the fact that I have the kind of resting expression that makes people think I hate them. But I want her to see me. I want to be real. So I take a picture. No filters, no angles, just me on my couch, in a hoodie, with my headphones tangled around my neck. Caption: I'm better in radio. I hit send. 5 minutes later, she replies with a photo. She's leaning against a gas station wall, guitar case beside her, dog at her feet. Hair wild, cheeks wind-flushed, eyes the kind of tired that only comes from chasing your own shadow. She looks exactly how she sounds. "Hi," she says in the voice message that follows. "You're gorgeous, but also, you look like someone I'd ruin my life for. So, that's neat." I laugh. Maybe cry a little. Who knows anymore? Later that night, I ask her, if we met, what would happen? She pauses for the first time ever. I can hear her breathing. I think we'd talk until we couldn't speak, and then we'd kiss, and then I'd probably write a bad song about it and send it to you even if it sucked. I think I'd let you, I whisper back. She doesn't respond right away. Then, I'll be in Portland next week. The loop has become a line, and we're walking it, fast and terrified. I clean my apartment like I'm expecting a team of forensic investigators. The air smells like panic and citrus cleaner. My couch has never looked more emotionally available. Every surface is wiped, every visible book chosen with surgical precision to say, I'm interesting but not trying too hard. Why, yes, I do casually leave Audre Lorde on the coffee table. Totally organic, not staged at all. Ren arrives in 46 minutes. Not that I'm watching the clock. I've changed shirts 3 times. I have 3 backup outfits laid out in the bedroom like I'm dressing for a date and my own funeral. Because today, I will meet the woman I've only known by sound. I know her laugh, the rhythm of her breath, the exact pitch her voice hits when she's pretending not to cry. But I've never touched her hand, never seen how she moves in a room, never shared silence with her outside of Wi-Fi. What if she hates the way I smell? What if I hate the way she stands? What if we kiss and both immediately regret it and have to pretend we're just really good friends with 3 weeks of emotionally intense digital foreplay? She texts at 2:03 a.m. Outside, I think. Do you live in a coffee shop, or is this Portland just being Portland again? I grab my phone with trembling fingers. Come up! Second floor, door says silver. I hear footsteps before I hear a knock. And then she's here. She's shorter than I imagined, taller than she sounds. I can't tell which. Her hair is pulled back into a messy bun with a pencil sticking through it. She smells like wind and cinnamon, and faintly of gasoline, probably from her van. Her boots are muddy, and her eyes are wide like she's afraid I'll slam the door and say, just kidding. But I don't slam the door. I just look at her. She looks at me. And for a second, the silence stretches like it's trying to break. Then she smiles. Hi, she says, and it lands in my chest like an arrow dipped in honey. Hi, I echo. And suddenly we're both laughing. Because we don't know what to do with our bodies now. Our voices knew each other first. Our faces are just catching up. The first 10 minutes are chaos. She trips over my welcome mat. I spill tea on her sleeve. Her dog Benny tries to eat my coaster, and I say, same. Like that's a normal human response. But slowly, something settles. We sit on the couch. Benny curls up on a blanket between us. Ren pulls out her phone and taps the voice notes app. She holds it up like a peace offering. Kind of feels wrong not to start here. I smile. Do it. She records. Day 23. Finally made contact with the mysterious public radio voice. Subject appears stable. Cute. Possibly dangerous. I take the phone. Subject is armed with a guitar and emotional damage. Send help. We play it back and laugh too hard. Something melts in my chest. The conversation flows easier than it should. We talk about the drive, the weird gas station sushi she bravely ate, and now regrets. How her van doesn't have air conditioning, but does have 4 mismatched curtains, because she likes fabric with opinions. She asks to hear my real audio setup. I show her the closet I turned into a recording booth. She's immediately obsessed. I want to record an EP in here, she says, poking the foam panels like they're made of magic. You want to record music in my closet? I ask. Obviously. Where else would I process my entire personality? It gets quiet around sunset. We're on the balcony. 2 mugs of tea. City noises below. A pink sky smudged with clouds. Ren shifts beside me. You know this might not work, right? It lands like a punch wrapped in silk. Yeah, I say. I've thought about that. She nods. We might be better as just voices. Disembodied souls floating through Wi-Fi? I say, trying to make her smile. She doesn't. I'm serious, Mara. What if this ruins it? I stare at my tea. It's cold now. I'd rather know it doesn't work than wonder if it coulda. Silence. Then softly she says, Me too. She stands, faces me. Can I kiss you now? I nod. Please. And then we kiss. It's slow and careful and nothing like I imagined, and exactly what I needed. It doesn't try to be perfect. It just is. Her hand curls around my neck. Mine finds the small of her back. And our mouths meet like 2 people who spent weeks whispering into each other's hearts and are finally allowed to shut up. When we pull apart, I'm shaking. She grins. Not bad for a couple of voice notes and a nervous breakdown. I laugh into her shoulder. That night she stays. Not like that. We're not rushing. She curls up on my couch with Benny. I make too much popcorn. We listen to old songs she wrote and segments I never aired. We fall asleep mid-conversation. No kiss goodnight, no dramatic fade to black, just comfort, just being. Weeks pass. Ren extends her stay. 1 week becomes 2, then 3. She finds a corner at a co-op cafe to perform. I build her a profile for a podcast she doesn't want to admit she's starting. We still send voice notes, across the room now, just for fun. She leaves socks on my floor. I start calling Benny my roommate. We argue about the right tempo for her outro track and whether I should pitch my new segment to Radiolab. She makes fun of my obsession with room tone. I tell her her capo is the worst roommate I've ever had. It's the happiest I've ever been. One night she asks, "Do you ever think about how it started?" "All the time," I say. She smiles. "A wrong voice note. Who does that?" "Me, apparently." She reaches for my hand. "Best mistake of my life." I squeeze her fingers. "Same."